more now on the impact of that turmoil in Egypt. Investors have been bailing out of emerging markets because of the unrest and worries about inflation around the world. For more on what is next for these markets, we're joined by RBC Capital Markets Global Head of Emerging Markets, Nick Chamie. Nick, thank you so much for being with us. And you know, looking on the streets of Egypt, you've got to wonder whether or not emerging market investors are ready to just get out and get out fast.
For the time being, I don't sense that in the market right now. The overall impact on financial markets has been relatively modest, but certainly given the multitude of scenarios that could play out in coming days, I expect that there will be further fallout as time goes by.
What scenario then could, in fact, outline further fallout?
Well, in my mind, I believe if the protests turn more violent, if there's more direct conflicts or clashes between the government and the protesters, and if it even eventually involves the army, that could certainly ratchet up the heat in financial markets. And as well, the spreading of these protests in other countries. Certainly, Jordan has seen that materialize in recent days, and people will certainly be watching for other regional economies to be affected.
Nick, where would that money go then? Where would it head?
Certainly, I think there's a number of favorites within the emerging markets that will probably hold up well over the medium term, and particularly some of the large ones like Brazil or China, India. They're still poised to do quite well this year in growth, and I think investment returns will continue to hold up nicely. But certainly the regional markets in and around Egypt are likely to suffer, and certainly we've seen amongst the two more liquid markets, Turkish and Israeli markets suffer.
But so is there a situation then, Nick, where it could be some of the emerging markets get sold off, but it actually could be a boon for, like you said, Latin American markets or even over in Asia?
Yes, absolutely. I think there could be some rotation of investment flows out of some of the regional markets into some of the more Latin American or Asian markets.
Nick, how permanent is this damage for investors into markets like Egypt? How permanent is this?
I believe it could be quite long-lasting, obviously depending on how the events unfold. If eventually in the weeks to come there's a reasonable resolution and elections are held and calm is restored, I think it would just be a matter of weeks or months before life returns to normal with regards to investors putting money to work in Egypt. But I think this also serves as a timely reminder that risk is an ever-present factor in emerging markets, and putting back some risk premia in the market is prudent at this point.
Nick, thank you. I appreciate it. Nick Chamie of RBC Capital Markets.